All right, we will call the December 30th special call meeting of the Finance Committee to order. First, we will call roll. For what it's worth.
I'm here.
Mayor Hobbs is absent. Alderman Messick. Alderman Parsley is absent. Alderman Crossland is here. Director Burrows is here. All right. Approval of the agenda,
So moved.
seconded. Agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes from the November 19th meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, I have read and I seconded, so also approved. All right, public comments. Anyone in attendance have anything you'd like to share with the committee? All right. Now on to item number 5. Request for approval of 2 new trucks for the codes department. Brittany, anything to share with us?
In your packet, there's a copy of the minutes from the
Yeah.
safety meeting.
Yeah, this is the same item we discussed in the safety committee.
That's true, and all of that holds true since then. We're about halfway through the budget year. I've only used about 30% of my budget. So I am confident that with the purchase of these 2 trucks, I can stay within my bottom line.
All right. Mark, you got any?
So you're taking it out of this month, out of this year's budget,
Yes.
not asking for any extra
Nope.
money?
I would never do such a thing.
Hey, I don't care, so I'm good with that then.
So no foreseeable budget amendments.
No, sir.
You know, when you come back 6 months from now and you need another,
6 months from now, we're gonna be in a new budget year, so,
Okay.
so you know.
all right.
All right. Any further comments, Anthony? Anything?
Not for me.
Okay.
She's got the underruns to cover it, I'm good.
Yeah, and I believe I asked specifically if you felt good about the back half of the year, so, all right.
So let's make a motion to buy them.
I second. Approvals? Aye. All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Brittany. Go pick up your kid.
I will.
All right, purchase on a van for the rec department. AJ?
And AJ, I did, in their packet, I did include a copy of the resolution.
So this has already been to BOMA once. I submitted the purchase order after it was approved. The contacted dealership said he was sorry, he misquoted the price of the vehicle by $1,989. I asked him, I said, well, is there anything you can do since you misquoted? He's told me no. Spoke with the mayor about the situation, and he said to just go ahead and proceed as is, but I wanted to let you guys know where we're at. We're still within the budget that we set aside for the vehicle.
You're buying it through state, right?
Correct. Yep. And I've got the original quote and the one he quoted, they're both dated the same. Expires December the 10th, which we had it in way before the 10th, the purchase order.
So who gave you that quote? Did it come from the state or?
It came from the dealership, but it's using the statewide contract.
Who was the dealership?
Ford of Murfreesboro, the same place that street department got their vehicles from.
All right, so do we have any concerns about, since the quote has expired, do we have concerns about the 55712 number moving?
He told me no.
Okay,
I
and
told him we'd have to go back through BOMA and everything.
he is Jason McCullough?
Yes, same gentleman I spoke with twice.
And this was budgeted money, correct?
Correct.
Well, as I remember budgeting for it.
We budgeted 60,000.
Okay,
And his first quote was 53,733, and then his second quote came in at 55,712.
yes, sir. Okay.
So what happens if you don't take that quote? What happens if you just bow up and say, look, this is what you told me I could buy it for, and this is what I'm gonna buy it for? What happens?
He probably won't sell us the vehicle.
So what happens?
Then I guess we'll
Somebody else will sell it to you, won't they?
Yeah, we'd have to go back through statewide contracts and see who another dealership is we could go through. I don't know where ones are at right now.
If he's willing to lose 53,000 over 2,000, then
Well, if you go back through statewide dealership, it won't be any worse than the 55, right?
In theory, it shouldn't be, no.
So just tell him. Say, hey, we ain't gonna do it. This is your quote. This is what you quoted me. And we're gonna buy it at that, or we're not gonna buy it. That's what I think.
the issue he may have there, Mark, is the quote expires
Well,
date. The salesman may bow up on that date with pushback.
it's not our fault the quote
And-
expired.
Yeah,
I mean, we were in good faith gonna carry through with that purchase. Look, it's just been a long day, and I'm a little aggravated, and that's exactly what I'd tell that sucker if he's here today. I might not tell him that tomorrow,
Right.
so cooler heads might ought to prevail on this, but I just,
Director Fox, one question. Since it's a state contract, is there any legal obligation for them to have to, how binding is the quote, I guess is my question.
I don't know. I'd have to, this is the first time I've purchased off state contract.
Okay.
So I'd have to reach out to whoever's at the states over statewide contracts and ask them. Unless, I don't know, police department, if you ran into trouble like this before with statewide contracts on vehicles? No. I don't know.
do you know what the street department paid for theirs?
I don't, because when I asked George, when, we got approved for a vehicle, who we got it from, he said, he gave me this contact, that's who I reached out to. But the last vehicles he got were those 1-ton snowplow
Oh, so it's not
trucks.
the same, yeah.
Yeah, and they were, he waited over, I think, a year
Yeah,
and
it
a
took
half
while
to get those.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's the thing I'd be curious about, is if they are, since it is state contract, if they're legally bound, and it's like, well, this is your quote, so this is what we get to purchase the vehicle for. I don't know if such a provision exists or not, I'm just asking.
I can definitely find out, or
Yeah.
try to, if I can get someone at the state to
Yeah.
respond back. That's
then-
part of the problem, sometimes getting a state rep to respond back to you too.
Yeah. And if they say, no, there is no such provision, and there's no legal requirement that they're bound to that quote, then we accept or reject, right? So,
I know you got enough people down there that you could put one of them on it and figure it out.
so for clarification for Director Fox, what actions do we want him to take?
sounds to me like we're looking to settle price, so we push off till the meeting on the 19th.
But you get it worked out between now and then. I mean, you just spend that money like it's your money.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's my money and you tell me you're gonna sell me a truck at that price, then I'm gonna expect to buy that truck at that price.
And I had that conversation with
Yeah.
him. I did have that conversation with Jason at the dealership.
Has he got a boss?
No, because he's the actual fleet manager,
Okay.
government sales fleet manager, so, he's,
Well, I'd probably just be mad enough to blow up and not buy the damn thing, but, that's just me, so. What do you wanna do, Thomas?
Uh,
now, I did talk to Al White whenever all this happened, asked them if they could get government service vehicle or government statewide contract vehicles. They told me they could. They're not listed on
Yeah.
the printout, so, I could reach out to them and see what they can do.
I mean, AJ, I would prefer to do business with someone in town,
I
or
would
someone
tell him
locally.
too, yeah.
Why don't you reach out to someone over there?
Okay.
I've got a pretty good relationship with Thomas over there. So if, we need to set up a meeting and sit down with him, I'll be happy to come along.
Okay.
But yeah, why don't we settle some of these questions real quick? I'm not a big fan of a guy giving us a price and then saying, oop, I screwed that up.
Right.
Everything I've ever screwed up in my life has been on me.
And I've
So-
eaten too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, let's answer some of these questions. We want to get this done, AJ. So let's try to get as much as we can back to us by the 19th.
Okay.
And, I think it's the 19th, isn't it, Anthony?
I believe it is, yes.
And then hopefully we can put down a vote then.
Okay.
You two gentlemen comfortable with that?
I'm good with that.
I'll just have you on the agenda automatically and just let me know what you find out.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
I will do it.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, AJ.
No problem.
All right, we're gonna pull item number 8 ahead of item number 7.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So, Anthony?
We've done we've listened to the three banks' presentations. We've done some other behind-the-scenes analysis. I had some more in-depth conversation with the mayor about it. And there's some things that have come up that we want, that I want to discuss with the banks individually, not in a group presentation. The mayor gave his approval for me to go ahead and ask them to come on in and meet with myself and the mayor, and if anybody else from the committee wanted to sit in on it. But it's really more technical and legal questions for them, to be honest, to get some more refined answers from all three of them if they choose to accept the invite. So that's where we are with it, and we want to have these meetings fairly quick, probably in the first couple weeks of, depending on schedules, first couple weeks of the new year, right after the holiday, and go from there. So, and we're just talking about 45-minute, hour-long meeting with each of the representatives from all three of the banks.
Do you think we can be ready to make a decision at committee level by our next meeting?
That's the plan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to take any longer with this, but there were some other things that, have come up in the doing our due diligence in the conversation. So, again, this wouldn't be a group presentation. We would just tailor it to each individual bank, some of the questions that have come up. So we're asked them to come in individually and sit down with us and just answer some things.
My main objective for this decision is for you to be comfortable, first and foremost. So, that's what you feel like we need to do, then I agree.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
But let's settle it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
And for the most part, I mean, if we're concerned about our banking service, that's a pretty big concern, so,
yeah.
yeah, we do need to get it put to bed, but, Anthony, I do want you to be comfortable with the direction we're headed, so.
So that would be the plan, is to get these meetings conducted and have final recommendations made and ready for finance committee on the 19th.
Yeah, I would like to attend if I can.
Okay.
Why won't you let us know?
Yeah,
Just send a note.
unfortunately, I have to work for a living, so I may not be able to make it.
I don't. So,
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
Okay, anything else on that, item?
No, I will get those invites out either this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Okay, awesome. All right, so that rolls to the next meeting. All right, then back to item number 7. What was item number 7? The approval of ARP.
And all we were looking to do here is just to make sure we've obligated the ARP money, the American Rescue Plan money. And the rules on this, the final rule from the federal government allows us to take what's referred to as a standard allowance and use the money for revenue loss on any projects or anything like that. And so what I've done, I just typed up this memorandum that you're looking at. And it kind of gave some of the background at the top of the memorandum, which I'll just read real quick. It's where the city of Manchester is required to identify those projects where it intends to use the RP funds and to commit those funds to those specific dollars to stated projects. But however, since the city of Manchester we're referred to as a non-entitled unit, and we did not receive more than $10 million in the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. We received just shy of 3.3 million. The city's allowed to elect what is called, the standard allowance. There's not a formula used, it's just a standard allowance, and commit the ARP money to whatever projects, or accept or declare revenue loss and use the funds for revenue replacement on those particular things. And you can mix and match it. You can choose these certain projects. Some of it is just declared revenue loss. Some of it is money we've already spent on water and sewer expenditures. And those are just some of the examples that we have where the money was spent. And, we just have to agree that, that's the road we want to take, unless the committee wants to, for whatever reason, go the other route where we would formally calculate. We wouldn't take the standard allowance, we would go with what they call, the formula to calculate this out. And if there was other more specific things or contracts that we had already signed, showing that we had committed the money. But I don't think we've done, there's not a lot of contracts that have been signed where the money has been committed. So
We committed, what, 1.86 million the other night at the board meeting?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
but
The money that we voted on at the board meeting the other night
For water and sewer.
for water and sewer.
well, that's, I guess the question here is that ARP money?
Well, I thought so. That was our national.
And we can put that in there, that's part of the 3.3 million that we can add into this list, that we are saying that we're obligating to that specific project.
This list,
Mhm.
These
These are just some of the things under each category.
we voted to give them $1 million, a line item, $1 million to spend on the sewer plant, okay, in the budget. This list is exactly what needs to be on that $1 million
Yeah,
line item budget. It doesn't need to come from ARPA. ARPA needs to go to fix the sewer. That's what we voted to put all the ARPA money, to put it all to the repair of the sewer.
but do we have commitments, do we have signed contracts, or have we passed anything to where we have obligated the entire 3.3 million? I mean, I know there was a resolution, I believe, sometime back when this all occurred, back during that time, where we said we wanted to put it towards water and sewer, but there was no.
No, there was. This has been a long time ago, when we
Yeah, I
first
mean,
got it, yeah.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
And then the 1.86 that we voted on last board meeting, that was part of the ARPA money, that was my understanding.
Yeah,
And then St. John has let another bid for 2 point something. That would take up the rest of the ARPA money. Now, we hadn't opened that bid, but it's been let, so we don't know yet. But that's my understanding, that's what the ARPA money was for. This stuff, we gave them in the budget the money to buy a new truck, you know? We gave them in the budget $1 million to buy this stuff that they want to buy. It needs to come out of their budget. They have no clue what a budget is. None.
yeah.
They need to learn.
So this is just some of the items that we have discussed, where that money was, discussed either out of the budget or to use the ARPA money and then use the budget later to
Yeah,
go back towards those ARPA projects.
this needs to come out of the budget.
Okay?
Every bit of this that I can see. Because it's all repair stuff. It's all repair,
Yeah,
you know, or a new pump or something like that. It all goes to fix the sewer. They need to keep that. Am I not thinking? I mean, why do you not want to keep it separate? You got the ARPA over here. We set that aside for sewer rehab to fix the I&I problem. 3.2 something, 3.4 million, something like that. So the 1.8 that we bid there, that we approved the other night, the 2 point something that we're let the bid for, that's pretty much gonna eat that up.
Yeah,
This needs to come out of the budget. There,
Okay.
we budgeted for it during the budget process. You know, you were here.
yeah.
You know, we budgeted for about 5 trucks, or 4 trucks, and hire 5 new people. That needs to come out of their budget. It doesn't need to come out of ARPA.
And I guess the main thing with this is, the bottom line is, this memorandum and this particular discussion is just kind of giving us the details of specifically how we wanted to separate that out, and showing that we have, I mean, we've committed the ARPA money.
Right.
I mean, you know, whether there were signed contracts or
Yeah.
not, the ARPA money has been obligated to these certain things. So, and that's key, because we had to obligate it by the end of this year, which we've done. So,
We had till 2026.
well, to spend it,
Okay.
but to obligate it, we had till the end of this year. And then we've got to end of '26 to actually expend the money. Anything not spent by then is,
Yeah.
gotta give it back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
I do agree with what Alderman Messick is saying, that if we have budgeted items that we've planned for,
Mhm.
let's stick to our plan, you know? We went to the trouble of making it.
We
so let's
did.
stick
We
to
went
it.
through that budget. We gave them $1 million in one line item
Yeah,
just for repair on the sewer plant.
and then.
And
then
all
you-
this is what that is. Except
Yeah.
for the new truck, and we gave them enough to buy 4 new trucks, so that needs to come out too.
Yeah,
I think we need to get, I don't think we know where our ARPA money's gone. I don't think we know what it's been spent on. And we need to know. Cause I know we've got one project already approved and another one that's let out on bid. And we just need to figure that out, what's what before we, but I don't think any of this needs to come out of ARPA.
Well, I know that we've spent somewhere close to $400,000 of the ARPA money so far on, you know, on the water and sewer items, some, you know, that we've stated. Now, we received $3,275,000 in ARPA funds. So, and I know we've definitely spent, you know, close to 400 grand, maybe it's a little over $400,000 by now. The rest of it is there, and I guess the key point here is that it is obligated towards all these different things, so.
Well, here you go. I'm gonna spend $3 million buying $30,000 flow meters and buying a couple of new trucks, and I'm gonna buy me a new pump. And before you know it, we ain't got any money left
then we hadn't
to
hit
fix the
projects.
sewer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. No, I mean, the 3.3 million is easy enough to
It
spend.
didn't take long to spend $3 million. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we just needed to make sure that we agreed that, you know, how we wanted it obligated, which we've done. And like I said, we've started to spend the money. And, you know, we'll get it all spent by the end of '26, but.
Well, that's not an issue, I know.
I think, I agree with Mark. The ARPA money needs to be specific outside of the budget repair projects
For sewer,
for sewer.
not the sewer plant, but for the sewer pipe, for I&I. That's what it was put there to fix, was I&I.
And that's where we've started expending it, is on sewer-related items. That's where I think that 400,000 is gone.
Well, we bought that pump.
Yeah.
That's $75,000.
Yeah.
That we paid. And I don't know what the other 300 went to, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It needs to stay separate. And I'm gonna continue to say that straight on through until somebody changes my mind.
Okay?
Does that wrap up the discussion, at least at this point?
At this point, yeah, the bottom line is the money's obligated and we know
Yeah.
where we want it to go, so.
Yeah.
And we know where some of it's been spent, so, I mean, the money's committed, I mean, it's obligated to these things, so.
And, I mean, honestly, it's in water and sewer's best interest to go the direction we're talking about. All of this is already appropriated inside the
Yeah,
budget.
it's in the budget.
So-
Let them use it.
Yeah.
They can't think that this is extra outside and above. You know, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they're gonna throw this up and say, well, you know, we're gonna use the budget for this, and we're gonna use ARPA for this, and it just don't need to be that way.
Yeah.
They've got to learn what a budget is, and they've got to learn how to stick to it. They were the only department, it was what, $2 million over budget a couple of years ago, before
Yeah.
you got here?
Yeah.
That can't happen again.
All right. Any other items that we need to discuss? All right, will I make a motion to adjourn?
Man, I'll second that.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all for your attendance. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, you guys. Sorry I was late. I'm gonna hire somebody to tell me where I need to be sometimes.